let's get into our horror takeaways for this cycle.
Yeah, I mean, I think we had some good picks this year. So our horror cycle was Midsommar, then Train to Busan, which is my favorite zombie movie, and then this. And I think that the thing that I took away most from each of those is what I take away from a lot of things, which is just focus on characters and just kind of let it go from there. I think that should be a rule of thumb in most storytelling. There's room for genre films, and I really like genre films, like fun stuff to just have a good time with, especially in the horror genre. But I think it can be so much more thematically rich if you're really focusing on a particular person's story and a particular thing that they're struggling with. So, like with Midsummer, it was the story of grief and like the breakdown of like being in a toxic relationship. That idea of like how much harder it is to grieve when you not only don't have a support system, but you have one that is actively toxic to you and your own mental health, right? And then you've got Train to Busan, where it's about learning to be a better person, not just to like set an example for your child, but to like be the person that your child believes you could be in the first place. And that's really great. And then for this, there's obviously a lot of like choosing to be who you are and who you want to be. And like the reason that all those worked is they focused on the protagonist and built a specific story around them and built the world and the situation they're in to fit them. So like there's a way to do it. Like I would say is like you can do good writing on any budget, and it's really just about letting the creators have the freedom to do what they want. We just touched on it with things like adaptations and studio oversight. Like if you just let them kind of do what they want. And the thing is too, there's so much room for that in horror because most horror is usually on a lower budget. So I think there's a lot more chance for profit and a lot less pressure. So I think sometimes like studios like don't always think to step in with these things, which is a good thing, but also at the same time they don't have as much to work off of usually. This is a really good example, Sinners, of one that got a much higher budget and was able to use it very, very effectively, not just for flashy stuff, but like to really like build the world into something really tangible and incredible, and to have an audience like really feel the world as it was happening. So really it's just about like start from character, work theme through that, and don't worry so much about like building a movie for everybody. Build the movie that you want to tell.
And be generous with it too, because I think with mostly Midsummer and Sinners in this cycle, like we see that in both cases where like I think Sinners does a better job of it, where you could almost call what Coogler is doing here indulgent. He's clearly making the movie he wants to make, but he's also clearly making a movie like with the audience in mind and like with this spirit of generosity. The iconic scene of this movie, like it feels like a gift, that long take juke joint scene. Like it feels like he really wanted to make it, but he also really wanted to make it for the audience.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Evan, my note responded to one of your takeaways. So,
Well, I'll second Angels real quick first because I think this was kind of something that I was thinking about for this movie specifically. I think Ryan Coogler just does a great job like writing characters with like so much love across all of his movies, especially the Michael B. Jordan characters,
mhm.
because he's in every one of Coogler's movies
I
so
mean, they're
far.
like close friends.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and like they work so well together too. Like, I mean, he likes working with him so much he made him twice in this movie.
Were we talking about like the theme of like people playing two characters being a huge thing like these last year or two?
It's in a
we
lot of
didn't
movies
mention it,
this
but
year.
It's
it
in
is in
so
a
much
lot.
shit now, right?
Hmm. And
I
I
watched.
was yeah, I was so impressed with him this time too. Like he embodies the two characters so well that like
Yeah.
I
also
forget every time
mhm,
that it's him, both characters.
it was I had no idea going in, and then that shot that reveals I was like, wait, we,
And
we
passing
get
the
two
cigarette.
Michael V. Oh man, this is gonna be such a good movie. Also, they do the universal twin rule of they color code the two of them. Like every
Oh
set
yeah,
of twins I've ever known, I think many of them do red and blue also.
Yeah.
Which thank God, because I couldn't tell them apart most of those twins in real life otherwise. Yeah. So my takeaways, I had two. One of them is think about what other ideas your genre allows you to explore. So Alex talked about this a lot when we had him on for the Midsummer episode. You can advertise things as a horror movie, but you're kind of really making it about this other thing. I think it applies to all of these movies, like
Mhm.
less so to Train to Busan, but that's still, Angel, you were talking about it a minute ago, like it's using zombies to explore selflessness and sacrifice. We've gotten into a lot of like what this movie explores with the time period and like vampire symbology. I would also like to see like that kind of leeway given to other genres. Like I would love to see sci-fi given that kind of leeway because I think you could do low budget
Mhm.
like or lower budget sci-fi stuff that directors can have some freedom without risking too much of a studio's money, but it doesn't
Yeah.
quite have that reputation like horror does as being like a pretty reliable profit. So Andy, did you want to respond to that one or the second one?
Yeah, I was gonna say I agree. Don't get locked into a genre. I don't think all of these at their core are horror, and that's what they were marketed as. But I think they all say, like you guys are saying, something in addition to like it being horror. Like I think they fit in a couple of different genres. This can be viewed as a drama. This can be viewed as I don't know a musical.
Yeah, I've seen some people say that it's kind of a musical.
Mhm. um,
Yeah, it is. I would say I would agree.
so same thing with Train to Busan. Same thing with Midsummer, especially.
I also kind of agree with what you were saying about the whole thing of lower budget sci-fi not being as explored as it should be. Like, there's a really good way to do that kind of thing where like the sci-fi elements themselves, like everything is kind of like peeled back a little bit. Like you don't need spaceships and like big superhero antics and stuff for it to be like a good sci-fi. Like I think Looper's a good example of one that
Mhm.
like felt very grounded but had very clear sci-fi elements. Like there's time
Code
travel
8.
to it, things like that. I was literally just I have Code 8 pulled up on Wikipedia right now because I was
Yeah.
trying to find the budget and I
Coherence
couldn't find it.
is another
Coherence.
coherence. Primer.
Yeah.
Primer's like
Hmm.
crazy low budget. That was made with like a toothpick. Um,
Yeah.
Circle.
Circle, yeah.
But they don't get as much mainstream attention as I think they should. There's an art to exploring an idea like that without needing to, I don't want to say resort to like big flashy stuff, but I think in a way it's like you're using the premise for the ideas as opposed to how big and cool can this look.
Mm-hmm.
You
It's.
know
I
what
think
I
it's a
mean?
little harder to market than horror is because, like,
It
it's
definitely is,
pretty.
yeah.
We've kind of cracked the code on making a good horror movie trailer. I don't think we can say the same for like a high concept sci-fi movie.
Well,
Um,
that's the whole thing of it, right? Because it's high concept, it can come off as inherently like a little bit artsy in a way that I don't think mainstream audiences are. I don't remember if I was talking about this to you guys, but like A24, like they are an example of a studio that like they make really weird, interesting movies, but a lot of their movies are still marketed as mainstream horror or sci-fi
yeah.
or drama, stuff like that. Like something that like is very marketable to a mainstream audience, but is not always reflective of what the movie actually is.
Well, especially
Like,
horror though. We talked about that. Like Alex brought that up a lot when he
yeah,
came
okay,
on.
that's where I'm remembering it
Um,
from then. Yeah, like it's a huge thing where like they market them as like very like It Comes at Night is a big example. I haven't seen it, but from what I've heard, like it's nothing like the trailer implies.
yeah, it's a zombie-less zombie movie. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
How do
I
you?
didn't. I didn't love it, but that was pretty much what it is.
I'm more
Um,
intrigued now because I didn't think it was described like that, but that's really cool.
it's okay. I gave it like 3 out of 5.
Every time I hear it starting like as a sentence, it comes at night. It follows.
Mm.
Yeah, I get a bunch of other movies confused for
It's
whatever
chapter
reason.
one.
There's several. You can do
Yeah.
that with movies too. Unbroken, Unbreakable,
Oh, okay.
Unstoppable, un.
Uh,
I don't know.
I think you've run out,
Yeah.
but that's a you still made
I
a
mean,
good point.
there's a lot more. I don't think they're movies yet, but you could keep making them.
Underdog.
Underdog, yeah. Captain Underpants. I'll go to my next takeaway. Be careful with sacrificing plot for other elements. I think Sinners and Midsommar both make a couple of plot missteps, or at least they break a little from narrative conventions. I think it works better here than it does with Sinners than it does in Midsommar. And my general rule for that, I think, is it's okay to do that if you're giving us something, but it's got to be a worthwhile trade-off.
Under
And
My Umbrella.
oh, there we go.
Jelani
That
wasn't listening that entire time. He was just trying to find another movie.
No, that's just the Rihanna song, but
yeah.
I had to come up with something.
Under the
It,
Tuscan Sun.
oh, that is
That's
a
Yeah,
real
another
one.
one.
okay, there you go.
Under the
That's a real
Silver
one.
Lake is a real one too.
Under the Silver Lake is another one.
Under the Silver Lake.
Heavily elevated by Andrew Garfield, by the way.
Yeah. Don't tell me
Like,
because
what
I've
if
had that on a watch list. I do want to see it for him.
Yeah.
Annihilation.
Undeniable. Yeah.
Evan was making a point.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I kind of got
sorry.
through my note, but like I think
Yeah.
it's a good thing to look at because like you could I think people have maybe not pointed out plot holes with this movie, but there's a couple things where like it does kind of end up in a place where characters are making like the horror movie dumb choice so that the plot could happen. But
Grace.
like the rest of the movie is good enough that like I mean I said
Yeah.
it with the scene with
Yeah.
Smoke shooting up the Klansman. Does it need to be in the movie? I don't
Yeah.
know, but I don't care
Yes.
because it's so good.
Yes, it does.
Like
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
Mhm.
That scene is essential.
Mhm.
okay,
It's so
if it's
cathartic.
not,
The fact that you are questioning it, Evan, is giving me pause.
I like it. I like it, and I'm here to hear the
Do you?
the breakdown.
Do you?
Yes.
I hope you do.
What's your last name, Evan?
Why do I feel like that's a trap?
It's not Hogwood, is it?
No,
Is it
as far as I
Washington?
know,
Is it Washington?
no. But I know an Evan Washington. That was my friend from first grade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Favorite color, Evan?
Favorite color.
Yeah.
I like green, but I like.
You
all
sure
of
it's not
them.
white?
Yes. Those discs are hard to find sometimes. Actually, green is harder. But
You get with the trees and bushes.
yeah, brown is the hardest to find, though. You should not get brown discs.
Dirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get on discs, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Evan.
I had one. It was good, but I
Who's
lost
the
it a
brown
lot.
discs?
Okay.
Brown discs need to be bought to wait. No, you know what? Never mind. Never mind.
Okay. Well, I mean that's basically the end. I just think it's like sometimes we can get a little caught up as writers in like, oh, does the plot work? Does all of this like fit in like narratively satisfying ways? And I think most of the time that's a good instinct to follow. Occasionally, like I think it's a learned instinct to like, can you be indulgent and maybe break from it? And I kind of talked in Midsommar about how some of that doesn't work for me in a few places, but you can do it artfully and in a way where the audience maybe doesn't mind, or you're at least like gonna give us a nice big payoff by breaking this thing. Like if it's the only way to do it, all right, give us the cool thing.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, because we talked about that a lot with Midsummer at the end, where like the ending doesn't really work for a lot of us, like fully when you really think about it, because like logistically, how does that work? Like, what does Charlie? What am I saying? What's her name?
Danny.
Danny. What does Danny's tomorrow look like? Is the whole thing, and I mean, I kind of called that out too a little bit with the logistics of like, okay, so like, what is the nature of Stack and Mary's life after this point? But it was cool because it led to an interesting discussion of like what kind of happens next. So I think what you're calling for is balance, right?
Yeah.
Like balancing the two elements. But I also think that like, you know, if the movie is cool enough and if the themes are done well enough and like that's what is emphasized and is important, I think it can still work even if people are kind of like speculating. I think the times when it really bothers most people are when the other elements of the movie also don't work.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
that can be a problem too. Like sometimes I'll watch especially like action movies where like I'm kind of fine with John Wick. I just rewatched John Wick 4 a couple nights ago. I don't care about the story in that. The action's good enough.
Yeah.
And there are some movies I wish I could say that about where I'm like there's no story, but also like okay, if your goal was to make a good action movie, you also didn't do that. So you gave me nothing.
The Gray Man for you.
Which one?
The Gray Man for you.
Oh yeah. That for sure. Yeah, I won't hate on that more. Jelani, you can
Yeah,
go to
but
your
no,
lesson if you.
I feel that
I'm
the
good.
gray man.
Yeah.
The only other thing I had was scare people in other ways than jump scares. Atmosphere, situations. The situation for Christian at the end of Midsummer was horrifying. I mean, just visualization. I mean, movies are a visual. What's the word? Visual medium.
Yeah.
Um, so you can use a picture to scare the hell out of somebody.
The holding back a little bit too, like the fact that we only see Remick rise up for like a split second, and then we don't like. There's no scene of him flying through the air
Oh
all the
yeah,
time,
yeah. It would look
right?
goofy.
It would look goofy, but the fact that they held it off a lot of it, and also some, I was pointed out to me. I was watching the CinemaSins for it, and like that moment where he lands into the frame at the when he first appears, that is definitely him flying through the sky and then landing down and coming out of the sky. But they only show the drop. They don't show like him soaring through the air like Superman. Awesome.
Somebody take me.
I think to build on your point too with this, like, I don't
He
think the
ignored it again.
scares. You know the what?
What? I'm just telling Angel he ignored the karaoke again. Go ahead.
Oh,
He he
I
he, he
did,
did
didn't
he
I?
did racially
But
motivated. What? Come on,
okay.
Evan. It's 2026. Get with the times.
So I have to let him
Mm,
sing the whole song to not be racist.
I don't know all the words.
As a brown disc, I am offended.
I knew I wasn't gonna be able to win. On some of these.
Evan's turning the color of his background, bro.
I'm blending in so much. I can see myself. I do agree. I do agree with.
Evan, do you find racism funny?
No comment. Are we keeping all of this in?
I don't know
I
yet.
don't know. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know.
I guess
Because
it's
the brown
really.
disc. I was
I
gonna
guess
say
I'll
to
come
cut
out
the
looking the
brown
worst
disc.
if we do. So,
I was gonna tell you to cut the brown disc, but
but now
that's
it's
a
a payoff.
callback. So
Now there's a
I don't know.
payoff for it, so I can't.
Oh
Okay.
man.
I gotta give that a sec. My head hurts from laughing there. I agree with your point about not relying on. I kind of believe that anyway about not relying on jump scares, but for Sinners specifically and Midsummer, I feel like Train to Busan has good like jump scare adjacent stuff. Like it's at least exciting, and they do it artfully. But for the other two, like I was talking to somebody else before we recorded the Midsummer episode, it just kind of came up and they were like, "Oh man, scariest part of the movie is the beginning when the family dies. Like that's the scariest thing." And I think we kind of echoed that on the episode. And I think the scary, like the more like horror images of this movie, like the blood and the like pointy teeth and whatever, like you might find it upsetting if you're not like you don't have much of a stomach for blood. But I don't think it's as scary as just the idea of assimilating and like kind of losing autonomy like that. Like when Remick says like, "Oh, I want your music, Sammy." Like that, just him saying that, I think is scarier than
Yeah.
any image in the movie.
Or whenever he says Sammy.
Yeah,
Sammy.
Sammy.
Yeah.
And his suspenders, scary
Yeah.
suspenders.
Other little moments like the guy getting murdered and Bo is just telling Grace to get in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Really
Oh,
good
don't
acting,
This
by
is
the
not
way.
hungry.
It's crazy.
Yeah. There are some great like I feel like all the funniest moments come at those like
At the
doorstep
door. Yeah.
scenes. Like I think one of my favorite shots is when the three vampires, well at the time there's only three of them, and they're doing the like song and the dance, and you cut back to like the people in the juke joint,
Mm.
and half of them are just kind of like what, and then Stack's kind of like,
Stack
this
is
is
like-
all right. He's like, okay, this is kind of good. Like,
Stack's the fun one. He's like,
yeah.
Oh, another one of my favorite scenes was Delta Slim telling Sammy to check on Stack. He was like, go in there. He's in there. He said, oh, he busy, huh?
Yeah. My theater had such a big reaction when Stack puts his ear to the door. He's like, "Found that button." My
Yeah.
theater had like such a big like.
Oh, and then the spit in the mouth thing. This movie's also very
That's
horny.
just
This
like,
is very horny.
Half of the letterbox
yeah,
reviews are just like, Jesus Christ, this movie is horny.
it really, yeah.
I mean,
Sex into it.
I don't mind it.
They're a fan of ice cream in this movie, we can say.
Yeah.
If you know, you know, I guess.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, then why are you listening to this whole episode?
Yeah, go watch the movie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? Leave.